The Pulse School on realagriculture.com is brought to you by Saskatchewan Pulse Growers and Nodulator XL.
Faba beans are definitely a crop that you want to get in early. You really can't get it in too early, but you can get it in too late because it has a very long maturity. So, there's no really cutoff date in terms of once it hits the 14th of May versus the 15th of May, but it's really region specific. If you typically have a longer growing season, you can see them up to the middle of May. If you're in a shorter growing season, of course, you want to get them in the end of April, mid-April, end of April, beginning of May. The minimum plant stand to target right now is 45 plants per square meter, so that works out to be 4 to 5 plants per square foot. There is some research that's indicating out of Alberta that higher plant populations can be of benefit, but there's more work on that will be starting in Saskatchewan. You look at the plants and you can look down at what has come up or what's coming up, brush the soil aside and do a count. You know what your row spacing is. It's nice if you take out a meter stick or you have a 1/4 meter square or something that you can use to measure, and then count the plants within that area and figure out what it would be per square foot or per square meter. This is on 10-inch row spacing. So if we estimate what a foot would be approximately that length. You've got 4 within this row and 3 within this row. So on a square foot basis, you're well within your target plant population. And this is in a little bit heavier trashed area. There still may be some more coming up. These ones were seeded about 1.5 inches, and we're typically looking at 1.5 to 3 inches in seeding depth with faba beans. The big thing with the faba beans is that they do take up a lot of moisture. When faba beans imbibe water, they end up doubling in size. So you can see the amount of moisture that it might take, because here's some seeds that weren't planted, and you can see the difference in size. This is the exact same seed that was used for planting, and then once it's taken on the water, you can see that it's doubled in size. So you can see that they do need a lot of moisture and in order to get to that size, in order to germinate. In terms of adjusting the depth for later seeding, if you have good moisture, you can seed shallower. But if the moisture isn't there, there's no sense seeding shallower because they're not going to come up anyway. So, they come up pretty quickly. And if you're looking at a later seeding date, the soil is warmer, so they just come up faster anyways. So the depth doesn't have a huge impact on the emergence dates. It might change it by 1 day or 2 days, but it's more the moisture. You got to get them into moisture, especially at the later seeding dates.